Hi and welcome to our channel today. We will be talking about a 2021 heist comedy movie called Army of Thieves. The film opens with the story of Hans Wagner, a reputable locksmith who was once a working guy until his wife and son sadly died. He began designing a series of 4 safes based on Richard Wagner's famed ring cycle, which consists of 4 operas in his latter years. Rheingold, Valkyrie, Siegfried, and Götterdämmerung were the names he gave the safes. After finishing the masterpiece, Hans built the last safe, which he used to lock himself up for good. Several attempts to rescue him from the safe had failed, and the safe was eventually thrown into the water with Hans's body still inside. The location of these vaults remains one of the world's greatest mysteries to this day. Returning to the film, the protagonist, Sebastian, works as a bank teller in Germany, where he is often faced with rude clients who complain. He sees reports of a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas one day at work. He makes safe-cracking related films for his YouTube channel in his leisure time. Unfortunately, hardly one watches any of his films, but he never quits up. When one of his films receives a viewer and a comment for the first time, an unknown figure invites him to an underground safe-cracking competition in Berlin. He soon gets at the address mentioned on the remark and tells the guard the secret phrase. The tournament begins, and all of the competitors proceed to open the safe in front of them, while Sebastian remains confused and anxious. Sebastian then focuses on his safe, which he quickly cracks, crowning him the competition's winner. Gwen, a female he meets by chance, is impressed by his safe-cracking abilities. Gwen turns out to be an expert gem thief who has been at it since she was a toddler. She stole her first wristwatch when she was 6 years old. The next day, Sebastian goes about his basic routine. But this time, when buying coffee, he finally meets and speaks with Gwen for the first time. She admits that she was the one who posted the YouTube comment and invited him to the competition to demonstrate his safe-cracking abilities. Sebastian is then invited to join her heist crew. He hesitates at first because he is not a criminal and has no prior experience. Sebastian becomes excited when Gwen tells that they are going for the complete ring cycle safes because he is Hans' devoted admirer. But he is still skeptical because the safes are very difficult to solve. Before Gwen goes, she informs that the safes are scheduled to be decommissioned in 96 hours, implying that they have a very short time to solve the safes. Sebastian chooses to join the group and travels to Gwen's hideout, realizing that this may be his last chance to break the masterpiece. Sebastian is introduced to the rest of the gang by Gwen. The first is Karina, who is in charge of logistics and is also a hacker. Then there's Rolf, the getaway driver who used to work as a valet parking attendant and is considered the best drifter in town. The final member is Brad Cage, the action hero, who claims to be the team's commander, but is later exposed by Karina. Sebastian is initially startled and confused because the worldwide heisting squad, which includes him, comprises of only 5 men. Gwen clarifies that the fewer the team, the more difficult it is to catch them. In 3 days, the 5 of them plan to pull off 3 heists across Europe. They'll start in Paris, where Rheingold, the safe with the fewest combinations among the others, is kept in a credit union. Sebastian is the first person to enter the credit union and immediately goes to the restroom. Gwen then takes the keys from a security guard and enters as a guest to look around the deposit room. Gwen and Sebastian then slip inside the vault and arrive at the safe location, while Karina arrives at the bank to distract the teller. Sebastian now has the chance to put his safe-cracking talents to the test with a genuine and difficult safe. He effortlessly solves the problem after describing the story behind the safe to Gwen, and the safe is opened. They steal the money from the vault and escape the credit union, with Brad distracting the tellers for the second heist. The team pulls off their heist and makes it out unscathed. Delacroix, an obsessive Interpol investigator who has been hunting the gang for years, discovers the film of the crime at the credit union and accuses Gwen's group. The gang lands in Prague the next day, where the Valkyrie safe is held at the NPIB bank. Sebastian and Gwen will break into the bank with the help of Karina, who will be waiting in the van. Sebastian gets through numerous rooms unobserved and eventually makes his way to the elevator, where he encounters Gwen. They both descend down the tunnels and arrive to the vault. When they arrive, they are met by 2 guards, who Gwen defeats with her martial arts skills. Before breaking the safe, Sebastian tells Gwen the narrative behind it. Unfortunately, a bank security officer sees Sebastian's movement, who gets suspicious of his inexplicable absence on the CCTV. They then decide to activate the soft lockdown alarm, which prompts Brad to activate Plan B and begin arming himself with weapons and a strange mask. He breaks into the bank and uses tranquilizer darts to incapacitate numerous security guards. He also directs bank customers to the center of the room and instructs the employees to fill a bag with cash. Delacroix and his gang, on the other hand, are waiting for the robbers to move, but nothing occurs. They decide to go into the bank, only to discover that they were at the incorrect bank. Returning to the vault, Sebastian fails on his first attempt, and if he fails again, the vault will be permanently closed. Fortunately, he cracks the code and opens the safe, transferring some of the money to their bags. Sebastian and Gwen are able to leave the vault because of the confusion generated by Brad. Brad gets wounded in the shoulder by a security guard as he is leaving, but he manages to re-enter the van. Gwen successfully hops inside the vehicle with the assistance of Brad as Rolf begins their escape. When it's Sebastian's time, Brad purposefully sends him out onto the street, forcing him to flee on his own. He manages to grab a bicycle and use it to flee the cops. Sebastian is ultimately able to board a train and board it. Gwen is enraged and disillusioned by Brad's earlier actions, despite the fact that they had promised to dump Sebastian after 3 heists. She tells Rolf to halt the vehicle and then walks away from the robbery gang in the van. Karina joins her, and the two of them decide to return to Munich to see Sebastian. He is taken aback when he discovers Karina and Gwen have been waiting for him at the home. They apologize, and Gwen urges him to keep the theft going. After some encouraging comments, he chooses to rejoin Karina and Gwen for their final robbery. They travel to St. Moritz, where the third safe is placed, while Delacroix and his gang are also present. This time, the Interpol team is more prepared and more confident since one of its members breaks into Sebastian's communication line and announces their strategy. The Interpol team enters the casino only to discover that they have been duped, since the safe has already been relocated because they called the casino's workers, which confuses Delacroix. Karina had pretended to be an Interpol agent and phoned the management of the casino where Siegfried is housed, telling them that the safe may be assaulted. As a result, the casino decided to delay the shipment by half an hour in order to avoid any planned attacks. Sebastian and Gwen seized the armored vehicle and took the vault themselves, while Karina purposefully records a radio message that persuaded the Interpol that the pickup time was still on track. Gwen drives them towards their escape as Sebastian works on the vault. Unfortunately, Brad and Rolf are also waiting in the casino and are able to locate Gwen's whereabouts using her phone's GPS. Karina emerges from the vehicle, aware of the threat, and attempts to stop them, but she is instantly encircled by Interpol agents and imprisoned. Fortunately, she is able to inform Gwen. Beatrix persuades her to reveal Gwen's escape plan, allowing Interpol to track them down. To cut a long tale short, Sebastian successfully cracks the safe's lock, and Gwen decides to stop the truck in order to retrieve all of the money contained within the vault. Unfortunately, Brad and Rolf show up, and Brad draws his revolver on them. Gwen has previously removed the firing pin from Brad's gun, and she flips the script because she is also armed, handcuffing both Brad and Rolf to the vehicle for Interpol to locate before fleeing with Sebastian. The couple has arrived at the dock. They are apprehended by Delacroix, who aims his revolver at them just as they are about to board a boat. Gwen fires her gun back at the Interpol agent, and after some back and forth, she chooses to sacrifice herself so that he may arrest her since she is what he wants. As Sebastian flees with the boat, Delacroix grudgingly agrees and captures Gwen. He obtains a passport from Karina and travels to the United States. Subscribe to see more videos like this, enable alerts, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.